Hello friends, welcome back. It's time for another video. And today, we're doing imposter syndrome. It's a super exciting thing that everyone suffers from except for one person who claims to have never suffered from it. And good for you. You rock. But for the rest of us who are suffering endlessly, I'm going to make this video to tell you how I personally am experiencing imposter syndrome and how it's colored my entire writing career. Well, the last 2 years anyway. So let's get into it. 2 and a bit years ago, I'd finished writing book 1. I sent it off to the dev editor, a different dev editor than I have now. We'll go into that in a different video, but I was, waiting for feedback before writing book 2 because book 1 was the first novel I'd ever written, and I was waiting to see if it was any good or not. While I was waiting, I'm researching craft things and researching all sorts of things, publishing. And one thing I was researching were these booktube people. These are people on YouTube who review books, okay? You might know like Book Talk or Bookstagram, I don't know, but I'm not on TikTok and I'm not on Instagram, so I didn't give a shit about those. We were doing BookTube. And there was a couple of people that I watched, and I decided to reach out to them. So I sent an email to these 2 people. And I said, hey, new to all this stuff. I just wrote a book. It'll be a bit before it's published, but I was wondering, how does one go about getting a book reviewed by you? Do I mail it to you? Do you have to purchase it yourself? If you prefer audiobooks, how would I go about getting that to you? I'm really just doing research at the moment and would appreciate any help you can give. I'm writing murder mysteries, police procedural, detective series that happens to take place in space. Thanks very much, Ian. Okay, that's what I wrote. I've written a murder mystery that happens to take place in space. This phrasing is important. One person I sent it to did not reply. Why would she? She's probably got thousands of people emailing her every day saying all sorts of nonsense. Or, actually offering her money. I wasn't offering her anything. I was just wondering how this whole process went, how you went about doing it. The other one, which happened to be Canadian, and I even actually complimented her, like, hey, you're Canadian too, great, in the email. She didn't reply either. But what she did do is in her very next video, she said, why the fuck would I want to read a book that happens to take place in space? When I read sci-fi, I want it to be blah, 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 blah. And she fucking tore me a new one. She didn't mention my name, but she quoted me. She quoted my email. And she was livid that I had dared to ask her if she would review my book. I didn't even ask her to review it. I said, how does one go about reviewing it? And the disdain, she hated me. Never having met me, never having read a word I'd written in the books, just from that it happens to take place in space. She made not a whole video. It was the opening part of it, but she made a point that I was garbage to her. I'm sure if she'd seen me in that moment, she would have spat on me, maybe even stamped on my skull. And she's Canadian. We're supposed to be friendly. I don't understand what went wrong there. So that was 2 years ago. And obviously, that has stuck with me. And it will continue to stick with me forever. Forever. So every time I write a book, every time I talk about my books, every time I do anything, I'm like, am I actually wrong? Is it wrong that I'm doing these murder mystery, police procedural, detective things that happen to take place in space? I mean, they do take place in space. It's just not about fucking aliens. I find that nonsensical. If you're writing a murder mystery, you know, every week you could just be like, oh, well, Brothnar used his suppleplups and fuck off. That's fantasy. That's not sci-fi. That's fantasy. If you have aliens, it's fantasy. Sorry. It's my opinion. I kind of hate fantasy. And I hate sci-fi that, I don't hate it. It's a different genre. Sci-fi that is just the future of now in space, like the future, that's one thing. I call that pragmatic sci-fi. If you're creating whole worlds and other things with like aliens and like other cultures and all this stuff, that's fantasy that takes place in space. And there's a place for it. But that's not speculative fiction. That's not like imagining the future. I might be wrong on that, but it's kind of my feeling. Right now, what I'm doing is we now live in space. It's been 300 years. We now live in space. And I've got detectives solving murders. And it's all very like, if you'll excuse this, down to earth, but it's pragmatic. It's based on the realities that we know. There's a couple things that we've had to invent as far as like the wormhole drives so that they can actually fly places. We don't have faster than light drives because those can't exist. So we use wormholes and we just go a normal speed, but through a wormhole. That's fine. I kind of invented like stasis, but I only used it in one book. And it's only for the cruise ships, so I don't know that we'll be revisiting that too much, because that's kind of a silly technology. And then I have artificial suns. So there's like, you know, the engine, the thing that powers the engine, and that's it. You know, everything else is like, sure, we could do that right now. That's pretty much what it is. You know, insert engine here and we're off to the races. But this lady hates me. Well, did anyway. And you could say, well, you get over it. Like she's probably forgotten about you. She's not important. Like her opinion. I haven't forgotten about her. That's what's important. The fact that one sentence can bring about that kind of vitriol. That it happens to take place in space. And it's made me second guess everything forever. Now, what, you want like a solution? You want to like overcome this imposter syndrome with me? You can't. I will feel like a fraud for my entire life. I'll feel like a fraud in my family, I'll feel like a fraud in my job, and I'll feel like a fraud while writing. I'm just going to, well, actually everything. I'm just going to keep going anyway. That's how I overcome these things. Fuck it. I'm a fraud. And we just keep going. Right? You know, the kids and the wife need me. The job actually needs me, whether or not that one asshole actually respects me, or whether I feel like I'm actually worthy of being there. The writing, if she's so against it, that kind of makes it seem like, well, nobody's writing it. And actually, I haven't seen anyone write it. There was like one book that I've ever seen written in it. So you want comp titles? I don't friggin' know. I don't know. So fine. Maybe there's actually a space for it in the market. Space. There's a space in the market for books without atmosphere. The end. So we'll just keep going. That's the solution. But I wanted to let you in on that. And that's why like my videos are like up and down. It's one of the reasons. Well, actually, all three of those things, family, work, this, they're together the reasons that my videos are so unhinged. Because my moods just are constantly fluctuating, depending on who's making me feel the worst at any given moment. That's what it boils down to. Who's making me feel the most fraudulent, the most worthless? Like, why am I wasting my time doing anything? That's what all of this boils down to. And I wish I could tell you that, you know, seeing a psychiatrist or something would help, but why would it? This is just reality. Some people will hate you. Some people will hate you one day and appreciate you the next. Some people will use you. It's just reality. The using you is work, you know. Work uses you. You know, they pay you, but they're using you. It's never enough money, is it? What positive thing okay, let's try to end it on a positive note. What positive thing do I have to say? I have a copy editor. Great. So we'll be getting through these friggin' books. Well, I still have to edit some of them, but we'll be getting through them. I've also sort of secured a voice actress for the audiobooks. I'll be doing the male voices. She'll be doing the female voices. And we'll get through it and like see if it works. Like, we haven't done anything on that yet. It's just been discussions over the last few days, trying to figure out the amount of work involved and pricing and things like that. That's great. So we're making more headway. I may not actually wait until the 12 books are done. I might just take the 6 plus the prequel that represent the first chunk, and we might just go with that, because then I can see what the audience, the readers, actually have to say. And if I have to change course like drastically, or just abandon this whole entire thing, well, we'll see. I don't know that the odd comment on Amazon will make me abandon the entire thing any more than someone making a video basically calling me an ass will make me abandon the entire thing. Okay. We'll see you next time. Love you lots. Bye. Now, because this is a writing channel, we're going to talk about the writing aspect of it. And I'm going to have a sip of tea. And I don't know if I'm going to cut or not, but I'm going to have a sip of tea because I made the damn tea and I'm going to drink it. I know, you're like, why doesn't Ian have beer? Ian's had enough beer. I can be like that Scully woman. I don't remember her name. Second Story. Except I'm not nearly as attractive or well-spoken.